Warriors quickly dashed the West Tigers' hopes by pulling out a 36 points to 16 win over the Warriors. The Warriors pulled off over the Penrith Panthers. Jonathan Thurston's last game in front of a home crowd up in North Queensland saw the Cowboys victorious by 44 points to 6 over the Parramatta Eels. And Karsten, our Cowboy supporting friend, got in touch. What did he have to say?
He did. So in this Spoonerpalooza, as they said, JT's last home game and how it played out, he earned his 100th home victory and Gavin Cooper scored his 8th try in consecutive games. That makes him the first forward to do this in Australian first grade since 1918, plus handing the spoon to the Eels. Go Cowboys. So, yeah, there you go. It was kind of written in the stars, I guess.
Yeah, well, he had to have one good moment this year, I suppose, in a disappointing season for him, farewell season at the Cowboys. The Raiders managed to pull off another win against the top 8 side. They've just about managed to do that when it becomes inconsequential for them, but it was the Raiders 24, the Rabbitohs 12. I haven't dug up the stats, actually, of the British players, so I apologise for that. Titans 8, Storm 10, Roosters 8, Broncos 22, therefore sealing their place in the top 8 and making the West Tigers win over the Sea Eagles almost irrelevant. The Sharks 38, the Knights 12, the Dragons 0, the Bulldogs 38, so a big win for the Bulldogs against the Dragons side that are chasing the top 4. With one round to go, the top 8 is set. The top 4 is also pretty much set, but the order is still to be finalised. The Storm sit top. They've got 34 points and a plus 179 points difference. Second to fourth all have 32 points. It's the Roosters with 100 plus 107, the Rabbitohs with plus 104, and the Sharks with plus 84. The next 4 then all have 30 points. The Panthers have plus 50. The Dragons have plus 37, the Broncos have plus 24, and the Warriors have plus 21. So it seems like it's going to be those sides and probably going to be the Storm who finish minor premiers with that points difference advantage they've already got. But it's all to play for in terms of who's going to have to play who and where in the finals. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
That's it for other results, Alan. That was pretty brief
week.
Yeah. We're now going to do it differently to how we would normally do it, and we're going to move from other results to the news from around the world of rugby league. News then, sponsored by rundom.run. Every year Dom does stupid runs in stupid costumes to raise money for Martin House, and this year is like no other, because Little Warden is going to match any donations by the SLP listeners to rundom.run's cause. When you make your donation, just leave hashtag SLP family in the donation comment and your sponsorship amount will be matched. So please do get behind Dom as he does his silly runs in silly costumes. Okay, the top news story this week to start with is that Wakefield prop, I guess former Wakefield prop really, if we're talking about it properly, former Wakefield prop Adam Walker has been given a 20-month suspension from all sport for testing positive for cocaine after a Super League game last year. The ban is backdated to the 14th of July 2017, the date of the test, meaning Walker can return to action on the 13th of March 2019. Walker, who's 27, has been suspended by the Rugby Football League since August 2017 under the UK anti-doping protocol. So obviously not the maximum 2-year ban for another Super League player who got caught out taking recreational drugs too close to a competitive fixture.
Yeah, I mean obviously it means he'll be around for the 2019 season if anyone wants to take a chance.
Well, I think Wakefield might be interested in regaining his services is the line I've seen. So
okay,
obviously they're willing to back the guy. I've not read the report or anything like that on his ban. It doesn't seem to have carried as much conversation and significance as the Zach Hardacre one, when Zach Hardacre's ban was obviously restricted to an even shorter time period after the case he argued. But I'm assuming that Adam Walker has put forward some sort of case himself to get it reduced down to the 20-month ban. Obviously, there was David Fafita's tweet, which was a little bit of a wind-up one, and a lot of Wigan fans jumped all over in that. He quoted the tweet saying the ban was for 20 months with a comment saying, should have signed for Wigan, or something along those lines. But yeah,
which you've got to expect that kind of thing. It was always, because obviously these kind of the traditional kind of suspension is, as you say, is 24 months, isn't it? So there has to be a 4-month mitigation rather than, I can't remember what Hardaker now, was it 14 months he got?
14 months, but effectively 14. Because his ban ends in the off season. Effectively, yes. It's a 15 month effectively, sort of, but yeah.
I mean, obviously with this one, it effectively means that Walker can come back in the early stages of the 19 season, doesn't it? So it means he's basically got another year kind of out. So
it's taken a long time for his case to be dealt with, though, hasn't it? Like, well over a year. We've known about the positive test for over a year.
I would guess it's kind of. Well, obviously, I haven't read the judgment or anything, so I don't know what the kind of circumstances around it have been, but it may have taken that long to put the case together. But yeah, silly boy, and if somebody wants to take a chance on that, I guess that's up to them.
Okay, Centre Braden William. Oh wait, we normally rotate, but I'll just do it. Centre Braden William will remain with the Catalan Dragons until the end of the 2020 season after signing a new 2-year deal with the Super League club. 25-year-old Fijian international had scored 17 tries in 42 top flight appearances since his arrival in 2017. Add to that another try in the Challenge Cup final. Good piece of business, do you think?
He seemed decent enough while he's been playing. Obviously he had a good game on Saturday. He's not a bad centre. He's probably about the right level. I wouldn't disagree with that as being a reasonable piece of business. He's still got age on his side. So
when we were watching the game on Saturday, Cass pointed out he's got such a balanced running style that he was really impressed with. So yeah, he's a skillful player who's probably been mistake prone at the NRL level, but this maybe is a level where it's a little bit more forgiving of that sort of thing. So we'll see if his career continues to flourish at the Dragons like it has done so far. Okay.
I'll say the next one, shall I?
Huddersfield, you do the championship, the qualifiers news. I'll do the Super League news. I'll stay top tier. Huddersfield Giants have announced the signing of halfback Tom Holmes from Featherstone Rovers on a 3-year contract. The 22-year-old former Castleford Tigers player is sidelined with a knee injury that will keep him out of action until around April next year. But after that time, he'll be competition for places at the Giants.
Yeah, don't worry. I know my lower league player, so I wouldn't dare to step up to the top table. Don't worry.
Tom Holmes, though, I think it's shown in his stint at Featherstone that he can lead a team around the park. So it's probably a decent bit of business, I think, and maybe a long-term. They're looking at him as a long-term successor almost for Danny Brough with that sort of length of deal. So well done to him and to them on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what's been going on in the qualifiers news-wise? 3 news stories to bring from the qualifiers.
Yeah, so Hull KR have released centre Andrew Heffernan to allow him to continue his recovery from a long-standing concussion. The 23-year-old has not featured since suffering the injury in the win over Widnes in April. He'll now return to Australia to continue his rehabilitation.
It's a really sad one, this one, isn't it? Because he looked quality early doors of this season, and he was obviously a strong performer for them last year, and I think he's taking the sensible decision to step away from the sport and focus on his recovery. So you got to credit him for thinking about his well-being over maybe other things. Yeah,
you've got to question if because that's a long time out with an injury that can be potentially serious. So how likely he'll be medically cleared to go back? I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? You don't quite. You don't know the long-term consequences of these things.
No, and I think he's made a sensible decision to take himself out of the firing line. That's for certain. Yeah. What else has been going on?
So Widnes Vikings fullback Ollie Ashelbott has been ruled out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. The 20-year-old suffered a
Is that 20?
moderate...
He's about 14.
Yeah, he looks 14, but then again, they all look like that to me. The 20-year-old suffered a moderate medial collateral ligament injury in their qualifiers defeat by Salford. Ashelbott made his Super League debut for relegation-threatened Widnes in February and has played in 4 of their last 5 matches. So obviously we saw I remember seeing the injury and thinking it looked bad, and the worst fears have been confirmed, I think, in terms of his time out.
Yeah, it's a real shame for the kid because he was showing some real promise, and one of the few bright things for the Widnes fans to kind of look at the moment. So it's a shame for the kid. But there's another. Go on.
Yeah, so Widnes Academy graduate Dan Norman has signed a new 1-year contract with the Vikings. The 20-year-old has been with the Vikings since the age of 16, progressing through the academy ranks to make his Super League debut back in June. Norman has spent most of the season with League One club North Wales Crusaders on dual registration and has impressed for the Welsh outfit.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about him really. I've never seen him play, but North Wales seem to have been quite pleased with his progress this year, so good luck to him. Down into the League One then, and Castleford Tigers have confirmed that Jake Webster is leaving to join Bradford Bulls at the end of the 2018 season. The former New Zealand international centre, who's 34, has signed a 2-year deal with the League One club after 6 seasons at the Jungle. So over to you. What do you make of this signing for your Bradford Bulls? Impressed?
Absolutely delighted. Obviously, I would argue he's still performing, at the kind of top level. And yeah, it's addressing a position where I think we have a little bit of weakness. We seem to have a million wingers, but I think we're a little bit thin at centre at times. And he comes with a huge pedigree, and as you said, he's been performing well this year, I would suggest. So yeah, I think it's
very good last year as well, wasn't he? In the very good Castleford Tigers side.
I think it's I would assume it's dependent on us getting up to the Championship, but
do you?
But yeah, I would say so. Wouldn't you say he deserves? He deserves to be playing at that level still, at an absolute minimum.
Oh yeah, totally. But it doesn't mean that he wouldn't still join you if you're in the League One next year. I would have said. We didn't actually get round to talking about the structure, did we? So let's talk about this.
No.
Let's talk about this new structure thing. So obviously nothing's been ratified, nothing's been signed off, but the proposal is there from the RFL to the Championship and League One clubs. The Super League clubs appear to be giving it their backing too, and it kind of has dangled too much of a carrot out there maybe for a lot of the clubs in the lower levels to ignore, really, when you're talking about potentially a 14-team championship next year, so only one of the 2 championship bottom 2 will go down, and the top 2 of League One will get automatic promotion, as well as a 3rd team going up through a 4-team playoff. So it opens up basically an extra promotion opportunity. So you've got 6 clubs there that are going to vote for that, and it opens up the ability to stay up for either Rochdale or Swinton, or if worst comes to the worst, Dewsbury, Batley and Sheffield, who are kind of just about clear, but you never know what could happen in sport. So what do you make of it? Is it just at the right time for Bradford after slipping into 2nd place?
Well, it opens up the conspiracy theorist, doesn't it?
Ralph Rudd's pet project is getting another boost.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus. I mean, I'll put to one side, independent, my individual interests in it, and just say how you can be having this discussion at this point. I have not a clue. It's an omnishambles, in my opinion, in terms of trying to. It's, as you say, it seems to be a way of trying to buy off some concerns from Championship clubs or League One clubs about potential restructuring at a Super League level. I don't know. I mean, a 14-team league isn't necessarily a bad thing. Getting rid of playing multiple derbies. The 5 heavy woolen derbies or whatever there's been this year. In that of itself, I don't have an issue with it. I think the league can probably support 14 teams. You can probably have a competitive situation, accepting that you're going to have your upper echelons who are full time, and then you're
looking at a dozen. 11 to 12 part-time teams, aren't you, in that division anyway next year? Featherstone are going to become even more part-time than they were this year, with losing up to 7 or 8 players from the kind of top earners from this year. And also we're going to see a similar thing. We've seen a similar thing with the Lee Centurions already. They're very much cutting their cloth to become a part-time club again. So that would leave